Stay safe as you visit Kenya's magnificent beaches. Holidays can be short, don't make life that short. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in the Kenyan waters. Are you playing your part? Wear your life jacket before going on board. Keep a close watch on children when swimming. Do not stand. Refuse to board a full boat. Stay away from the waters if you're drinking alcohol. Holidays are fun, but don't make it this the last time you enjoy. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in water. Our call and rescue center is open 24 hours. In case of emergencies, call.
Build them a house that years can't touch. Build them a home that makes them feel safe and loved. Build them a house that lives up to your dreams. When you build a home, build it with Nguvu Cement from Bamburi. That is reliable and trusted to build durable structures. Because homes are built to last forever.
Awesome! Brought to you by Kenya Engineer, Kenya Maritime Authority and Bamburi Cement. Awesome! Everything around you has been engineered. Are you tired of reading sensational news items on government contracts? You know, the propaganda type of I don't know what the bank has given some billions to some road projects. You know what I'm talking about. Are you in need of in-depth analysis of how engineering has influenced Kenya, or rather revolutionized humanity? And of course, you've heard about the Malaysias, the Singapores, the tattoo cities. Do you want to know the story behind the tragedies, collapsed buildings, or know the mightier power in those Kawasaki engines? Or passionate about technology and innovation, the iWatch thing, the Akina CGR, the Storos, ati how can railway be standard and have gauges? Or are you looking for tenders, engineering jobs, suppliers? Then join the Kenya engineering community. Get a copy by dialing 0719-207712 or join the Kenya Engineer online community www.kenyaengineer.co.ke.
At the authority, we appreciate and we know that employment generated by a well-planned and developed Kenyan maritime sector can create the quality jobs that are needed to meet the requirements under Vision 2030. And therefore, our goal is to prioritize the areas which carry the strongest promise for growth, innovation, and employment.
The key driver of any economy is industry. Light industry is mainly based in rural areas for food production to feed the population, and heavy industry like steel plants to feed into the food processing sector. Kenya, just like many African countries, have been reduced to supply cheap raw materials and labor to their industrialized nations thanks to neoliberal experiments like structural adjustment programs of 1990s. The introduction of trading in second-hand materials and importation of cheap products has led to death of many industries. Some of the factories have been affected include Rivertex, an Eldoret-based clothing factory, the oil refinery in Mombasa, and Webuye paper factory. Some of the attempts by Kenyan government to embrace local content and take advantage of locally manufactured goods include the famous Nyayo 1 car. With proper research and development, such an initiative was meant to come up with a local-based vehicle manufacturing plant. Today, Technical University of Kenya has renewed this hope by coming up with a project to design and fly the first Kenyan plane by 2017. This will be a project to watch. Did you know only 7% of Kenya industries are public enterprises? 93% of industries in Kenya are privately owned. Employment in the manufacturing industries account for 48% of all employed persons. Food processing companies are the leading employers in terms of number of employees. Unemployment and poverty, a common scenario in African nations, Kenya not exempted, are symptoms of stagnation and lack of industrialization. Years ago, engineers realized that the long-term solution to mass unemployment and poverty is industrialization. Keeping in mind that the greatest role of an engineer is to come up with sustainable scientific solutions to solve human problems and to enhance human life, it is without doubt that engineers play a major role in industrialization of a country. Rapid economic growth calls for rapid industrial development. Industrialization is therefore the main link to the economic development of any nation. With the help of the engineers, huge investments have been made in the industrial sector through innovation and implementation of efficient systems. Kenya has a relatively large industrial sector whose share of gross domestic product has increased marginally over the past 2 decades. The industrial sector share of monetary GDP stands at 15.5% over the last 2 decades. Many experts agree that for Kenya to achieve its Vision 2030, the industrial sectors will need to grow. It is therefore the role of the engineer to ensure that the best systems are put in place for efficient and affordable production. Kenya prides itself in having the most sophisticated manufacturing industries in East Africa. Being the hub of peace and political stability, the country has attracted many investors who take part in building the economy through various industrial sectors. This growth will create unprecedented demands for energy, food, land, water, transportation, materials, waste disposal, earth movings, healthcare, environmental cleanup, telecommunication, and infrastructure. Industrial development in Kenya can be tracked back in 1979 when the Ministry of Trade and Industry established the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, KIRDI, to undertake comprehensive research and development in industries and technology, whose findings and recommendations bore fruits as the economy steadily increased from 6.8 million shillings in 1991 to 11.9 million shillings in 1994. In 2007, the GDP had risen to 15.7% from 13% in 2002. The industrial sector keeps growing with more than 700 established companies that employ over 218,000 people in 2000. This number has tremendously risen considering the number of new companies set up every day. According to the Vision 2030, the overall goal of the manufacturing sector is to increase its contribution to the GDP by at least 10% per annum. The objectives to be met include strengthening the capacity and local content of domestically manufactured goods, increasing the generation and utilization of research and development results, raising the share of products in the regional market from 7% to 15%, and developing niche products for existing and new markets. The target areas useful in achieving these objectives are development of the iron and steel industry through establishing an integrated steel mill, development of small and medium enterprise parks and technology parks, upgrading of product from small to medium enterprises, development of skills for the human resource for this sector, and commercialization of research and development results. Industrial growth is viewed as a strategy of economic growth of the country and has been often used to address the development challenges faced, like creation of jobs and eradication of poverty. In this regard, selected industries, if given the necessary support needed for them to grow and export their products, the economy will get a major boost due to the jobs created, foreign exchange and technology transfer, which in return brings development. Sustainable development will be impossible without the full input of the engineering profession. This begins from the planning and research stage before any of the systems can be implemented. Engineers in Kenya are already playing key roles in fulfilling those demands at various scales, ranging from remote small communities to large urban areas. The industrial engineer is skilled and trained in studying the internal economics of a manufacturing operation, its production costs, profitability, and consumption of raw materials. The current strategy used for industrialization focuses on encouragement of selective industries to increase their export production and in the process increase employment. Today, 77% of employees in industries are males and females are up to 23%. According to statistics, the majority of persons engaged in industries as employees are Kenyan citizens, accounting for 99%. This value is an indication that the more industries we have, the more citizens will get employment. The government is expected to improve information flow in private sectors, hence a better coordination, and provide incentives that will ensure the industrialization process is led by the private sector. This will be implemented in two stages. The first, in which the government will encourage light manufacturing industries and labor-intensive resource-based ones. The second stage will have the policy target industries that are most technology and capital intensive. This strategy is expected to result in a dynamic industrial base by the year 2020. The engineer is then able to extend his analysis to indicate how the operation planned will contribute to the overall economy of the country, especially in the conservation of scarce resources such as skilled labor and capital. Engineers are involved in manufacturing, operating, and maintaining industrial machines to ensure maximum productivity at minimum costs. The engineers at the proposed stages have always considered the community to ensure that the new industries will create employment, but at the same time improve social lives of the communities. In Kenya, the industrial sector comprises of the manufacturing, processing, quarrying, and mining and construction activities. Manufacturing sectors accounts for approximately 2/3 of Kenya's industries. Manufacturing accounts for the greatest share of industrial production output and form core of industrial sector. Manufacturing sector is mainly agro-based, meaning that many of them deal in food production. Examples of industries in Kenya are the flour industries, cement industries, vehicle assembly industries, sugar industries, among others. Agriculture sector leads the other sectors as the biggest industry, contributing more than 60% of export earnings and directly influences overall economic performance through its contribution to GDP. Indeed, tremendous contribution to the economy has been witnessed in the past from the local assembly of vehicles. Kenya National Bureau of Statistics data shows that 5,456 vehicles were assembled in Kenya in the 10 months of October 2012. Engineers will be involved in local manufacturing of engines and create thousands of jobs in Kenya.
As you know, we have three main assembly operations in Kenya. We have General Motors, we have AVA in Mombasa, we have KVM in Thika. Those are the three main assembly plant with the installed capacity to do close to almost 20 to 25,000 vehicles per annum. So in terms of capacity to assemble and manufacture in Kenya, we have the capacity to actually meet the demands of the entire East African market. Right now, almost all of us are operating below our installed capacity. The last time the figures were computed, the entire vehicle manufacturing assembly in the region was operating at about 22% of its installed capacity.
What are the challenges? Why is Kenya's industrial sector not growing at the desired rate? In part 2, we discuss the challenges of industrialization and how the engineers are combating these challenges. Industrialization is the business of an engineer, right from concept, design, and maintenance. Factors such as sustainability and environmental effects come into play when planning an actual building of the factories. It is a regulatory requirement to carry out an environmental impact assessment before commencement of such project. With the backdrop of many stalled or rundown industries, it is therefore the duty of Kenya engineers to focus on careful and well-researched innovation and industrial development to ensure sustainability and safety. Engineering, the forerunner for the development and progress of any country, is crucial in the success of any industry, be it agriculture, mining, transport, communication, manufacturing or education sector. As Kenya's economy grew and populations surged, engineers are increasingly faced with the responsibility of developing sustainable solutions. The growth of manufacturing industries is associated with greater use of raw materials and energy conservation. Kenya Vision 2030 blueprint, the manufacturing sector is expected to continue contributing 10% annually to Kenya's GDP. To be able to achieve this, industries need to reduce their cost of production. The cost of production is determined by the cost of raw materials, energy, labor, among other factors. The more expensive a raw material is, the higher the price of the end product.
If you look at the cost of production, the highest contributor to the cost of production is actually the cost of cane. In your average manufacturing company, you expect that the cost of raw material should not be probably more than 30%. But you find that in this country, the cost of raw material, this is the cost of cane, is 50% and sometimes more. And you might ask yourself, why is that happening? But it's just that it's that raw material that everyone is scrambling for.
Subsequently, the energy costs incurred during production of a commodity will determine its costs at the consumer levels. The manufacturing sector mainly uses electricity and oil as sources of energy in its production processes, distribution and transport services. Most of the manufacturing processes use industrial diesel oil and fuel oil for their thermal energy requirements. Many processes also utilize electricity for drying, grading and packing. The utilization of these two forms of energy on average has been rising and resulting in increased costs in terms of energy and total production. Undoubtedly, one of the main challenges faced is energy efficiency. Many industries rely on machines that consume a lot of energy, resulting in high costs of doing business. As a result, many of the engineers are looking into ways of energy conservation during the system processes. Kenya Association of Manufacturers has come up with energy management initiatives to assist the industries to cut down their energy costs and make them more sustainable. Cement manufacturing in Kenya has been faced with the challenge of environmental sustainability and energy use. The plant engineers have had to develop means of combating this challenge through research. Plant engineers are now focusing on an alternative fuel to be able to reduce the energy costs. A case in point is the Waste Tire Management Program, a partnership of Bamburi Cement and GIZ. Fire-derived fuel is used in boilers and industrial furnaces as an alternative fuel instead of fossil fuel. The tires, shredded or whole tires, are placed in the boilers and furnaces and are burnt down to produce energy.
Inside, within the company itself, we are also aggressively looking at all opportunities that we can lay our hands on in order to reduce our energy bill. And first and foremost, I would like to say that we have a very aggressive and energetic team under the industrial ecology that is looking at alternative sources of energy, especially replacement of coal or HF4, heavy fuel oil, that we use in our plants in Athi River and in Mombasa. So in this regard, the industrial ecology team has looked at alternative materials such as biomass, tires, and other materials that can be able to replace coal in our kilns. In terms of electricity, reducing our electricity costs, we also are complying with the Energy Management Regulations 2010-2012 that has now been enforced. And for that, we've got dedicated energy managers in each of our plants looking at all opportunities to ensure that we consume our energy efficiently and we are able to conserve the energy so that we can be able to reduce our cost of production and translate the same to our customers.
National industrialization policy has been a major hurdle, especially when engineers are trying to introduce new concepts. As a result, this has negatively affected the industrialization process. The problem has been compounded by the existence of numerous laws, a weak legal framework, and overlapping ministerial mandates, which has culminated into uncoordinated and slow industrialization in Kenya. The bid to achieve these goals has not been without challenges. The local industries face stiff competition from international competitors who produce similar goods at cheaper prices. Unstable oil prices affect the prices of goods produced with oil as the energy. Inadequate power supplies and unreliability of the same directly affect industries. The 2010 National Industrialization Policy recognized that Kenya is primarily agricultural-based economy with skilled human resource base and strategically located to serve a regional industrial hub. The policy seeks to address issues affecting the industrial sector by including broad-based strategies that would provide the sector with meaningful opportunities to realize its full potential. With improved productivity and competitiveness and facilitation, the industrial sector is poised to contribute significantly to accelerate economic growth. Engineers have taken advantage of its strategic leadership position to exploit the opportunities availed in the East African region. The role of engineers has moved from machinery maintenance to research, design, and implementation of new strategies towards industrialization of Kenya. As the government, the private sector, and the multinationals strive to grow these key industries, economists suggest a more holistic approach to engineering. A paradigm shift from control of nature to participating with nature in its efforts to improve sanitation, developing water resources, and developing transportation systems. With less than 2 decades to reach the year 2030 and the steady growth of industries in Kenya, attainment of goals set therein have strains of hope that most, if not all, will be achieved. The industrial sector is a key driver for increasing growth rates, generation of efficient employment opportunities, and fostering Kenya's integration into the global economy. Among other factors, the future growth of industries and the economy of the country at large highly depend on engineers. As Kenya becomes more crowded, more consuming, and more polluting at an alarmingly unprecedented rate, the engineering profession faces an uphill task of contributing to the building of a more sustainable, stable, and equitable Kenya. This can only be achieved through sustainable growth of all key industries. Even with the setbacks, the industries in Kenya never stop. With the engineer at the front line, industrialization in Kenya may be slow but will steadily rise to achieve its maximum potential.
Take one for the leaders of the nation, for the painting of a brand new state, for the leaders of the true soil, for another foundation. Take one for the leaders of the nation, for the painting of a brand new state, for the leaders of the true soil, for the movers and shakers. Set this goal someplace, them somewhere for nobody else. To set this course, having a clear appearance beyond the mountains, above the sky. Yeah, we got the same spirit, man, we aiming high, cause we got the power, the dreams to achieve. In everything we do, education is the key. Education is the key. Take one for the leaders of the nation.
Build them a house that years can't touch. Build them a home that makes them feel safe and loved. build them a house that lives up to your dreams. When you build a home, build it with Nguvu cement from Bamburi. That is reliable and trusted to build durable structures. Because homes are built to last forever.
Stay safe as you visit Kenya's magnificent beaches. Holidays can be short, don't make life that short. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in the Kenyan waters. Are you playing your part? Wear your life jacket before going on board. Keep a close watch on children when swimming. Do not stand, refuse to board a full boat. Stay away from the waters if you're drinking alcohol. Holidays are fun, but don't make it this the last time you enjoy. Kenya Maritime Authority ensures your safety in water. Our call and rescue center is open 24 hours. In case of emergencies, call.